There's a rumor going around on Twitter that the 49ers are willing to trade Trey Lance for a second-round pick and a fourth-round pick this year. I don't know how legit this rumor is, but frankly, I think the Niners would trade Trey Lance for a second-round pick and a fourth-round pick this year. Should they? No, but I think they would. On the other hand, I don't think a team would offer that. A second-round pick and a fourth-round pick for a player who essentially hasn't played in 3 years and has very little playing experience, period. I don't think he's worth that much. So, look, this might not be legit, but if it is, I'm guessing some team called the Niners to inquire about the availability of Trey Lance, and that's the opening bid. Like, that's where the negotiation starts, if this is legit. And again, I think I asked John Lynch straight up, would you guys be willing to trade Trey Lance? And he said, we're cool with him on the team for now. We're good with him we're fine with him on the team for now, is a direct quote. That sounds like he's on the block. He's available for the right price. So apparently the negotiation starts at a second and a fourth. I doubt a team would offer that. But that just sounds like, you always start the negotiation higher than where you would accept. So if the Niners are, if a team calls the Niners and says, what do we have to give you for Trey Lance? They say a second and a fourth. That sounds like they would settle for a third, doesn't it? And a third kind of sounds realistic, fair, given how the Niners have botched this, how he hasn't played in 3 years, that kind of thing. So will the Niners trade Trey Lance? Will they settle for a third on draft night? It's possible. I mean, you listen to how John Lynch talks about Brock Purdy. It sounds like Lynch and the front office are like, all in with Purdy, almost like drunk on Purdy, right? Then you got Kyle Shanahan, who's much more sober on Purdy, but he's so enthusiastic about Sam Darnold, it sounds like between the two of them, he's content. So it doesn't really feel like anyone in the organization is really backing Lance anymore. Like, who is in Lance's corner in this organization? I couldn't name him. Couldn't tell you. Lynch seems out if he ever was in. And Shanahan seems like, he's one of the best thing he can say about Trey Lance is that he's like one of the quarterbacks on the team. So we'll have to see if a team offers the 49ers a third-round pick by draft night, because I think they would take it. I don't think you would like it. I think Niner fans would be upset, and I think you could argue it's a dumb move because Lance hasn't failed. They made an incredible investment to develop him. They didn't develop him, and they're going to throw him away for a third-round pick before he failed just because they sat him for a year, which is basically, defer, like just wasting a year. And then he got injured week 2. So instead of like seeing where it goes, they're just going to throw him away for a third-round pick because they think they like Brock Purdy and they think they could do something with Sam Darnold. I mean, it sounds like a really big mistake. But on the other hand, if they don't trade Trey Lance for this third-round pick on draft night and they bury him behind Darnold and Purdy, man, they're never going to get that third-round pick again for him. They might get a fifth-round pick for maybe. So you think they've, butchered his trade value now? It could get a lot worse. So second and a fourth, I can see the Niners asking for it. Again, it feels like the opening bid, the beginning of the negotiation for a team that's willing to settle for a third. And for a Niner fan, that's got to be disheartening. Hopefully I'm wrong, because I still feel like the Niners are afraid to trade him because they see what happened with Jalen Hurts last year on the Eagles, and they're like, man, how do we know that isn't going to happen with Trey Lance? And now that he's working with Patrick Mahomes and he's working on his mechanics in ways that Colin Kaepernick never did, and you're seeing him, throw correctly, finishing with full extension in front of him and not muscling the ball from his ear because he locked out his leg too early. I mean, this is the same thing that Jalen Hurts went through. And the Niners haven't really helped Trey Lance develop. But if Patrick Mahomes and his personal passing coach can do it, then maybe trading him away for a third-round pick is a big mistake, because what are they going to get with that third-round pick? Trey Sermon? I don't know. We'll see. But second and a fourth, it's not happening. Third-round pick, Sure, if Trey Lance is terrible and that's the Niners' big secret, then take that third round pick. But they can't evaluate quarterbacks. Even if they did have a negative evaluation of Trey Lance, who are they to evaluate quarterbacks? Let's see him play in a game. Let us evaluate the quarterback position because they can't. They didn't know what they had in Brock Purdy. Second and the fourth, huh? Stay tuned.